The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Betty.
There are just simple things in life that no matter how hard we try, no matter how much we practice, we just can't seem to grasp hold of them.
Juggling.
I wouldn't call that simple. I would call that difficult.
Really? Because some people maybe
make it look simple.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So hard.
I found a list of things that people are sharing. Others seem to find simple, but they just can't deal with it. And I want to run these by you, see what you think. Wrapping gifts. Now, I know, Wally, you take a lot of pride in how you can wrap a gift.
I do. I've been trained. My wife has trained me how to wrap gifts. I'm pretty good at it. The odd-shaped stuff, not so much. But, we do a church wrapping station every year at the mall. It's the part of the outreach. Mm-hmm. And I go and I wrap. And, people will come up, women will come up with their stuff, just random people to get wrapped. And I see them look me dead in the eyes, and I'm like, hey, can we help you? We'd love to wrap those for you.
And you as a male, they're like,
yeah. And all the other women are busy, and I'm like, look, trust me, just let me do one for you and then see how you like it, because I'm pretty good at this. I'm actually, in truth, better than most of the women.
Yeah, and I'm sure you are. Another one, giving directions or having a sense of direction. This is one of my failings.
Yeah.
Just recently, I had, our boss was asking me, oh, where do you get to this certain place? And I was like, and he was naming off street roads, and I was like, listen, I don't know street roads, but I can tell you it's right of the Dairy Queen, okay? Also, too, we went on a work trip recently, and I got lost going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And there was only 2 turns I had to make, but I don't.
Couldn't unwind them.
Yeah, I don't get it.
At least you admit it. My wife is bad about this, because my wife is horrible with directions, and we debate, the fastest route for things, and she's wrong so many times, but she'll be right 1 out of 10 times, and that, and in her mind that means she's an expert, but she gets it wrong so much, but I just have to be like, okay, you might be right, honey. It's just easier.
Another one, sleeping. Gavin, do you feel like you have a hard time with this?
Why do you? That's
because you look tired,
because
you've been yawning.
Question, because I have a 2-month-old. It's a little, I can't sleep.
But even before that, even before the baby.
Even before that, I have a very, very hard time, hitting the pillow and shutting my brain off and going to bed. It would take an hour to fall asleep sometimes.
And not to make you angry, but I have literally seen Wally on the couch in the midst of playing a video game.
Yeah.
And he conks out mid-fight.
Knocked out. I know.
With his mouth open.
Yeah. That is
on the couch.
Well, that is the value of good, clean living and a clean conscience. Gavin, look into it, because I sleep like a baby, and he just yawned again. Uplifting WayFM, this is The Wally Show, and I'm not sure if Betty thinks this is weird as I do, but it's kind, but it's a little odd. So Gavin has been having leg pain, sciatic nerve pain at his young 28 years old.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that I've heard belongs to either a pregnant woman or the people I see are my elders.
Yeah.
So people in their 50s.
My mom at 64 is dealing with her sciatica.
Sounds normal.
Right.
And I'm over here at 29 getting up from my chair
and
walking a geezer.
Our boss was hobbling in here for a while, and he went and did the Good Feet store thing, and they swear by these insoles, but they are not cheap. They're super expensive, but he walks like a normal man now.
Yeah, and I told him about it, because my dad had back issues, real bad back issues, and he got these insoles put into his shoes, and it was night and day for him. And while they are expensive, it's a lot cheaper than back surgery.
Yeah. They give you 3 sets of them, and you got to work your way down to the normal ones. And so he offered them to Gavin to use and to try out the first set. And I don't know, it just feels weird to use another man's insoles.
I personally, when he offered it, I thought he was crazy.
Yeah, but okay, good.
Because I didn't know they were a plastic thing, and they're little plastic insoles, and he washed them and cleaned them and
nice
gave
of
them
him.
to me. So in essence, it's at that point, it's just a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
in essence, was under my boss's foot for a
Why
long
is that
time.
so
I
weird?
don't know. I don't think girls have as big of a problem with this stuff as we do.
Guys can be really weird when it comes to sharing or
Yes.
just being in the same space. Like, for instance, I know that if we go and see a movie, I had to sit in the middle between you and Gavin.
Yes.
Because if y'all sat next to each other, you'd feel uncomfortable.
Or we'd have to have a seat in between us.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's just it's a proximity thing where I'm like, I don't want to be so close.
But I just don't get why. I mean, these insoles are pieces of plastic that you just put on. But you're not licking them.
No, but
they're in your feet.
It's feet.
Yeah, but it's feet. It's a very personal thing. It's like, hey, do you want to borrow a pair of my boxers? No.
Is it this equivalent of like sharing a toothbrush in your eyes?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's not as bad as that.
But it's up there.
It's up there.
Probably,
That's
the other
crazy
thing
to
is
me.
completely off limits. I don't even share a toothbrush with my wife. That's horrible. It was weird because it was so nice of him. Like, he's just a nice serve people
Being
kind of thing.
kind.
But then I thought, would I have taken him? I don't know. And Gavin did because he's Gavin.
And but I think inherently, insoles, stuff that goes under your feet, it's a very odd thing for people in general to share.
Okay, and that's what I want to talk about, all right? What is the oddest thing that you've shared or someone has shared with you? It might be completely different for women than men, I don't know. But that odd thing that you have shared, okay? 855-33-WAY-FM. The insoles felt weird to me. Nice, very kind and very nice, but odd, okay?
I disagree.
So the odd thing that you have shared or had shared with you or even offered to you. So 855-33-WAY-FM. I'm hoping we can odd this thing up and like it gets really weird. That's what I'm really hoping for. 855-33-WAY-FM. So what is the weirdest thing someone has shared with you or you with someone?
I work in the construction industry, and I have a hard hat that I bought. I forgot it, and someone lent me theirs, and it just didn't feel right.
Wearing their hard hat? Yeah.
Why? It's a hat. It's not like it's anything like a personal item. It's just a hat.
It just gets all sweaty, and you smell them, and it just doesn't fit right.
Good grief. But did you wear it anyway, Alex?
I kind of had to.
You're just lucky you weren't working with one of the women on the job site who's like, they always have like pink hard hats and stuff. Hey, it's the Wally Show. Who's this?
Hey, this is Sherry. And look, I was just wondering what kind of insoles those was because I'm a caregiver that's on my feet all the time. And they look amazing. I don't know about sharing them, but...
Oh, the insoles. They were the Good Feet store insoles, and they're like $1,500. It's crazy. They get you in there, you try it out, and you're like, this is great. Then they hit you with the price, and you're like, oh, no, I don't think so. I have a little hack for you. Ninja insoles on Amazon is what I use to help my plantar fasciitis and everything. $30, and they work great.
Okay, I'll check that out because I'm always on my feet from the time I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning until I go to bed at night.
Hey, Carrie, if you come down, Wally will share his with you. How about that?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. So what's yours?
Well, my daughter wanted to use my deodorant, and I told her just to keep it. I said, nah, it's okay. I got extra.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Even if it's your daughter, you're like, okay, yeah.
Why?
That's gross. That's your armpit.
Yeah, but she showered, right? It's not like she's putting it on when she's nasty.
Well, she didn't shower yet, but I don't know. It's the armpit.
Now, let me ask you this, Tammy. I'm going to call Gavin out because I know that one time he ran out of deodorant, and he came in smelling like a floral garden, and it's because he used his wife's deodorant.
Yeah, no, at that point, that was out of necessity. That wasn't something that I would pursue. I'm not like, oh, I like that. Let me use that. Like, when you're out, you're out. You don't want to, it's either you get a flower or you get,
B.O.
B.O.
Yeah. I would have taken the B.O. There is so much talk today centered around AI. Hey, it's the Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM. And I think AI used properly, it can do some good things for you. I think it's a really good idea starter. Mm-hmm. I think most of the things it creates, like when you're trying to be creative, it's like, But like a lot of times it'll give you a thought that takes you in a different direction, creatively. But this is the first time that I had seen AI actually give kind of a little disclaimer. So Gemini gives you direct access to Google AI. And so I was looking into it for something. And so you can get help with writing and planning and learning and stuff. But this is what the disclaimer said. I was fascinated by this. As you try Gemini, please remember, Gemini will not always get it right. Gemini may give you inaccurate or offensive responses.
Oh.
When in doubt, use the Google button to double check Gemini's responses. And it's weird because like Gemini is supposed to be using Google to then formulate all of its opinions or its directives. Yet it's like, oh, it could be messed up, so then you Google it. Well, how am I going to do better than the AI that's using Google?
Right. What was the point? I thought AI was Google. It just put a personality, not a personality, more like a
name.
Yeah, or a
like
voice.
Thought.
Something.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the thing about AI is it's supposed to get to where it's cognitive, which I don't know that it ever could be, but it is kind of weird. But then they went on to say Gemini isn't human. It doesn't have its own thoughts or feelings, even though it may sound like a human. Remember, Gemini can't replace important people in your life like friends, family, teachers, or doctors. Gemini can't do your work for you. Gemini can't make important life decisions for you. I think that's the fascinating part of this, because as we become more connected, we actually become more disconnected with people. And so the fact that they're at least being aware of that, saying, there are some people that might be tempted to dive into technology because it's easier to manage than human relationships. Because human relationships can be messy, but they're so much more fulfilling.
Well, and it's also, too, that we live in a time where people are happy to sue someone else.
Yeah.
And so, you hear about that woman that sued McDonald's because their coffee was too hot. And so I'm sure that they're doing this as a way to keep them out of lawsuits. Like if their Gemini AI service tells this person to do something and they do it and they end up in jail, they could sue Google.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I see that as a smart thing to do, though it just loses the purpose of AI. I don't get it.
Yeah, I just really think that the important thing there, though, that they're honing in on is remembering that human interactions are important, because we're getting more and more reliant on our devices.
Yes.
And as the devices start to seem more smart, they actually aren't. It's not always a smart decision to rely on emotion from them, but I think people will be tempted to do that.
So we need to go out and make actual friends with people, is what you're saying.
Or better robots. One of those two things, yes.
Hey, Wally, do you have a minute?
Sorry, busy.
I have cake.
Oh, what do you need?
Yeah, see, that's a perfect example of, even though we are busy, we make time for what's important.
Yeah, because going back to school as an adult, you're busy with work, you've got family, but if you want to make your education a priority, trust me, you can do it. Betty did.
Like when I first started, I was super intimidated because it had been a while since I've been in school. But I mean, from the very first conversation, I felt like they were setting me up for success.
Yeah, and going back to school with CCU's flexible online courses makes it so convenient.
Yeah, and what's so cool is every class has a biblical worldview perspective. And so you think, well, how can they turn math into a biblical worldview? They find a way.
Yeah, and that was one of my jobs when I was teaching at CCU, was integrating not just the facts and figures of things, but how your faith plays into what you're going to do.
CCU offers Christ-centered higher education, transforming students to impact the world with grace and truth.
Cultivate your mind without compromising your heart. Get started today at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a non-profit impact partner.
In a broken world, stories with humor, heart, or hope are a nice change of pace.
There are some things money can't buy.
It's News-ish on The Wally Show.
I know inside of Christian circles, people debate celebrating Halloween, and some people are super passionate that it's the devil's holiday and that we should all abstain from that. And if you're in that camp, that's great. Then don't celebrate. I totally get that. No problem. But churches use trunk or treats as outreaches for the community, and I never once thought, while I was trick-or-treating, of worshiping Satan. Like, I didn't equate those two things, and all the scary stuff was off limits in my house, but the Zag Nuts were not, and the Reese's.
What's that?
It's a candy bar.
Oh.
And the Reese's,
Oh, Reese's.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
bring
good.
them.
Oh, you say Reese's and I say recess.
What?
Yeah, Reese's
cup?
Reese's peanut butter
But
cup.
but you say Reese's Pieces.
I do say Reese's Pieces because it rhymes.
But I guess you say pieces. Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I actually don't know now.
We are definitely getting sidetracked
Okay,
here.
sorry.
This happens a lot, and I apologize. But there's one family that I came across that Halloween is more than just a holiday for them. Blake is an 11-year-old kid. He's in a wheelchair, and every year he and his dad transform his wheelchair into a cool Halloween costume.
Love that.
Love this so much.
Yes.
This year was really cool because, while Blake can't play hockey, it doesn't keep him from being a hockey fan. So he loves the Columbus Blue Jackets. So this year, he and his dad turned his wheelchair into a hockey penalty box.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a Zamboni.
That's good too. I've seen that.
That makes the ice clean. Oh, I was so...
Maybe next year. But the hockey penalty box is great. Like, he's in his wheelchair. He's in a hockey outfit. There's a square plexiglass box around him. Behind him, it says... 2 minutes for fighting with his brother, which that's his mom's add-in because that had awesome. It. But so good, and I love this because I get all the debate around Halloween, but should we partake as believers? Is it being part of the world? Are we not being set apart? But I think it's what you make it about, and this family is making it about bonding together and helping their son just be a kid and not a kid confined to a wheelchair.
Right.
And I love that. And sometimes I think while we're picketing things or throwing up signs or making posts online, step back for a second and look at the bigger picture of the good that comes out of things that maybe we don't necessarily always agree with.
Come out, come out, come out, you pretty kitten.
We were all put on this earth with different plans by a wonderful creator. Hey, it's the Wally Show on Way FM. And Betty Rock was given a God-given gift. I think at birth. Like, have you always had this, like when you were little, to name a cat just by looking at it like that?
I think so.
Yeah. Did you do this for, like, your friends or what have you? Or did anyone else tap into this?
Well, it wasn't so much cats as it was just anything. So I just name inanimate objects, too. I just like to name things.
Yeah, and you're really good at it, okay? And so people ask us from time to time to have you name their cats. Hey, Wally... This is from Cashel. I need Betty to name my sister's kitty. He's a boy, and he's a blue lynx, Point Neva, masquerade Siberian cat. That is a lot. Like, if you know what type of cat it is, you did not get that at the shelter. Like,
yeah, right.
Because normally, like, I'll take that one. Is how you pick
like
a
cat. Alley cat got out of a dumpster.
But this is a blue lynx, Point Neva, masquerade Siberian cat. Wow.
Ooh,
but
that's a lot.
It is very cute, okay?
Oh,
Little
I'm
boy,
sure.
super blue eyes. So I'm going to hand this to you upside down. Do not look at it yet, okay?
Oh, my.
I know. We're
This
going
is
off the
tough.
cuff. This is where Betty Rock will then flip over the picture when I tell her, look at it, and in a split second make a determination of the perfect name for said cat. Okay,
Dazzle us.
Here we go. Oh, dazzle. I like that. All right, here we go. Lady Rock. 3, 2, 1. Name that cat!
Oh, snap!
Oh my goodness, look at him.
He's
eyes are
beautiful.
so beautiful.
So blue. Like Frank Sinatra blue. It's crazy.
Whoa.
I'm not saying anything.
Wait, what's the name of the guy that does Blue Steel?
Oh,
from
Ben Stiller. Zoolander.
But what was his character? What's his character?
Derek Zoolander.
Was it?
Yes.
You should name him
Derek!
Derek.
I love it. I like where you're going with that because, like,
Blue Steel.
yeah, like Frank.
He's got the black lung, Pop.
Yeah, see, like Frank from Frank Sinatra would be too obvious. That's why she goes on another level.
Amazing.
Derek Zoolander, and Derek is better than Zoolander. Nicely done. Lady Rock has done it again.
Thank you.
Random acts of audio.
Today's random act of audio here on Uplifting Way FM with the Wally Show comes to us from the Kelly and Mark. Her husband's name is Mark, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Used
So
to be
Kelly
and
Ripa.
Ryan. Yeah. Kelly and Mark show. We had it on in the studio the other day, and Betty Rock noticed that one Miss Lauren Daigle was going to be on there with Andrea Bocelli. Now,
And if you don't know who Andre Bocelli is, he's like this guy that sings in a different language. Couldn't tell you what it is.
it's called opera. It's Italian usually.
No, but he's singing.
No,
he's
it
not
is, though.
singing English.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's not singing English.
Why are you
It's opera. It's Italian.
Well, is opera always Italian?
Usually.
Usually.
Oh, well, see, that's something I didn't know.
But thank you for helping us. I love that Betty's like, okay, now here's if you don't know. And then
He
she's
sings
like,
opera, and
yes.
according to Wally, it's Italian.
Yes.
That everybody should know that. But Lauren Daigle was on there on the Kelly and Mark show to sing with Andre Bocelli, and it was pretty good.
Do you know that he's also visually impaired?
Yes.
He did have
Okay.
the sunglasses on.
Yeah, he always does.
I
He
thought it was
rocks
just to be
those.
cool, but
No, those are swaggy. They look good on him. So anyway, he's been doing this for years. He's like one of the preeminent tenors in the world. And so for her to sing with him was like, oh, okay, let's hear how this sounds. Vibrato. They let her take the English, which was nice, I think, kind of combining it so that people could enjoy it who don't necessarily love opera. But at the end of it was great because opera always has like a long hold and a lot of vibrato. And at the end, I'm not sure if he was just trying to go longer than she could to prove he could, or if she went as long as she could, but he's been doing this so much longer he went. But here is the long holdover note at the end. Still going.
He did just like held it just like that extra second. When she was done, he's like, okay.
Now I can finish. Yeah, he almost exploded, but he did make it longer than her. But I mean, that's pretty cool that Lauren Daigle got to be on an album with him, and I guess they had performed in Italy, the thing live and stuff too, and so pretty cool. I like to see her getting out and doing things outside of even just the normal Christian sphere. Because when people see that, they go, oh, who's this chick? And then they get Jesus as a result, too. So pretty cool. That is Andrea Bocelli and Lauren Daigle on Kelly and Mark. Uplifting Way FM. This is The Wally Show. This is Tuesday, so we get to go back in time with Time Capsule Tuesday, where Betty Rock, Gavin, and myself each pick a song from a specific year, and then we share a little bit of it, and then we ask you to decide who has the best taste in music by picking the song that you remember and like the most because of why that song connected with you. Because, I mean, the messages are timeless, you know, even if it's an older song. That's the thing that makes Christian music so different. And so with that said, Lady Rock, what is the year, please?
The year is 2014.
Yes.
2014.
It's a good year, actually, in music. A lot of great music here.
Yes. So I went with one that we actually still play, Colton Dixon's More of You.
Oh, yes. That's a great option, Betty Rock. I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to think of when will it be for him that no one says Colton Dixon from American Idol anymore.
I feel like they already do that.
I think we're done with that. I think he's done, because everybody that was on American Idol, it runs its course.
Yeah, I forget.
And you want to be disassociated with it at some point in time. Like Mandisa from American Idol for so long.
Or Carrie Underwood, Kelly
Danny
Clarkson.
Gokey. Look at all these people that we play. Yeah. That's a really good offering. Gavin, where are you going?
I love just about every Francesca Battistelli song.
She's a guilty pleasure of mine, too.
Fantastic. And I didn't know this song came out in this year. I really like her song, He Knows My Name.
Yeah, I really liked Franny back in the day, and I know it's like I still loved, like at this time I loved Skillet, you know, and then I'm like, oh, and then that was my name. I always felt really guilty liking that song so much, but it's a really good one. I'm gonna go with a worship song by who I think is one of the preeminent worship artists now. I mean, you have Chris Tomlin that kind of was huge in that space, and I think the torch has been maybe passed a little bit to one Mr. Phil Wickham. This is Amazing Grace.
This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place.
He was a surprise for me. When he came in, he was so, like years ago when we did Total Access, when I first started, like in 2006, he was very calm, very shy, unassuming. We had to push him out of his comfort zone to goof around with us, and he had these Phil Wickham heart stress balls, and we threw them at, we turned the guns on Zach, and both started pummeling Zach, and it was like a whole new world opened up to him. He's like, oh, I can treat people like this? I'm a star? This is great.
But wait, has he been back on the show?
No, not since then, but no, he's great. So those are three awesome songs that you have to choose from right now for Time Capsule Tuesday. Colton Dixon, More of You. That is Lady Rock. He Knows My Name, Francesca Battistelli, that's Gavin, and Phil Wickham, This Is Amazing Grace. All you have to do is tell us which song you want to hear again and why. The and why is important. Why does that song connect with you? 855-33-WAY-FM. If you got a story, we'll take it now. Uplifting WAY-FM, this is The Wally Show. Dawn, thank you for joining us for Time Capsule Tuesday. We've stepped back in time to the year 2014, where you have heard the choices. More of You by Colton Dixon, that is Betty Rock's choice. He Knows My Name, Francesca Battistelli, Gavin's choice. And This Is Amazing Grace by Phil Wickham, my choice. Which of those songs would you like to hear today and why?
It's got to be Phil Wickham.
Oh, gotta be Phil Wickham. Why?
Got to be, because my 12-year-old daughter is obsessed with Phil Wickham.
Boy, that's a good thing to have, too. Like, of all the bands and, people she could be obsessed with, that's awesome that it's Phil.
I know. We got a signed CD from him, and you would have thought she had just been given $1 million. She is obsessed, loves him so much. And I love listening to her sing and just worship God and do it in such a positive way. And we got to take her to see him and Brandon Lake for her birthday.
Ooh, that's a really good show. The two of those guys, because Phil is the soft and Brandon's kind of the edge, and those two things together work really well.
It really does. And to be able to catch the kids' attention, it's awesome.
There you go. Well, you have proclaimed it a winner, and yes, it is. It is Phil Wickham. This is Amazing Grace, the winner today on Time Capsule Tuesday. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Who breaks the power of sin and darkness, whose love is mighty and so much stronger, the King of glory, the King above.
It's kind of weird how patriotism and prayer have almost been vilified inside of our society today, and that's why it's cool to see people stand up for both. From the director and producers of God's Not Dead, there's a new film out that's called Average Joe, and it's a story you probably were aware of a little while back of the high school football coach Joe Kennedy, who chose to fight for his right to exercise his faith and pray at the 50-yard line following games. I think what's interesting about this movie is they delve into his childhood and his past and what led him to this place, because he had his skeletons and he wasn't this perfect revival Christian guy. He was a real life guy that had issues, but faith was a part of that. And I think that that's the part of the movie that connected with me and maybe will connect with you as well. He was fired. His wife Denise even gets caught in the middle of it and she has to pick a side. So if you want to check it out, it's Average Joe. It's rated PG-13, so you can make your decisions as a parent there. It's in theaters now, and if you want tickets or more information, you can find that at averagejoemovie.com.
More than just a beautiful face. Here's Gavin.
We're having a moment here. Don't ruin
I
it.
bet you thought I was going to say Betty. It's news-ish on The Wally Show.
When it comes to work, with the place that you go for 8 to 9 hours a day, I think that amidst all jobs, I really think that we actually have a really, really good job.
Absolutely.
That I love coming in to do every single day. But I will say that you do have to find your motivation on some given days. And some days it's easier and some days it's harder.
Well, because with any job, there's the part of the job you love and then there's the part of the things you have to do.
Yes.
Like I remember like in teaching, like I do like to teach, and I had a teacher tell me once time, I get to teach, I get paid to grade. Like, they don't like the grading, but they love the teaching.
Sure.
I'm like, oh, I totally get that.
Well, speaking of those things that, again, you kind of need to do versus want to do, I found this list of the top things that can crush your motivation at work. So
I know mine.
We'll see how many of these maybe apply to you, Wally. So I'll say that the first one was rude managers. So I think that we have a great manager.
Is he here yet?
At work. So, he's over there.
Brown noser.
You're the worst. That's not what you said earlier.
No.
Yeah.
But I can understand in some circumstances if that person who's above you, maybe they're, a little extra not in a good mood on any given day.
Sure.
I can see how that can offset your
Or they're
motivation.
incompetent. That's my big thing. Like, that's a big thing
Our
for me.
Our boss is very competent.
That's what I said. That's what I'm saying.
It's not what you said earlier.
No, stop it. That only works for him.
Okay, the next thing was constant calls or meetings.
Yeah, because meetings take away the time that you need to do your job.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just feels like those things could be done in an email.
Oh, 100%.
I will say that at least for the three of us in this room, there are a lot of people in this company that have way more meetings than we do.
Yeah, and a lot of times other people's jobs interact with other people, and you need to have meetings. Ours isn't like that. We're kind of our own little island, and so, yeah, when we get drug into meetings, the whole time I'm just going, okay, how is this going to benefit what I need to get done today?
Sure.
Kind of thing.
And then this last thing, I think, very directly impacts us and can really set our day off, and it's poor technology.
The
days that I've come in here and there's a blank screen or Betty can't log into the hard
passwords
drive.
are killing me.
I know.
Yeah.
They are killing me. And once the IT team that we have here at the station, like I even told them, I said, I think I need you to leave a note on your computer somewhere, and it has all my passwords, because I can't do it anymore.
I have not understood this, because you just keep a list on your own phone.
But even then, I lose that. And I'm
I know, that's true.
Is it?
That is very true. I think my thing did not make this list of the thing that takes my motivation away at work. It's telling me no, or that I can't do something. Those two things, I'm like, well, fine, you do it then. Like if I come up with something like I want to do it and someone tells me no, I'm like, no.
Really?
Yeah, because I've thought about it. I know why I want to do it.
But what if it's bad for you?
Still, let me learn the hard way.
Oh my Lord.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and I came across this thing the other day that was an interesting thought about having, a professional narrator narrate your life. Like, who would that be? Because you've got the classics like Morgan Freeman.
The time has arrived, President Wazer. The world awaits your commands. The American people are counting on you to drive.
I mean, that guy just has pipes and just like, that'd be great. But that's too classy for us. 100%. So then I
Speak
thought...
for yourself.
Well, I thought of, speaking of myself, I thought of who would be good for each of us. And I thought, Betty Rock, a really good one for her would be Mike Rowe.
If his luck holds, the biomass of crab will still be here.
Yeah. She loves herself some Mike Rowe. And if he could narrate your life and be your partner, how great would that be?
He is a fine specimen.
For me, the perfect narrator of my life would have to be Nate Bargatze.
I went to Walmart. I go there. I would say Walmart's getting a little sometimes when you go in there, some of the people that work there are some of them I don't even know. You'll be talking to them.
Because I love Nate Bargatze, and he's just kind of down to earth, and I like that about him, and he's like, I'm not that smart, and I resonate with that. And then one stuck out for Gavin, too. Gavin's confused by this. This is the one I picked for Gavin.
Yeah, I thought you just said 2 for Betty.
No, this is for Gavin. This is Wilford Brimley.
If you have type 2 diabetes like I have, you're confronted with choices. You can choose to feel sorry for yourself. I hope you don't. I hope you choose to get involved with a good doctor. Find out some things about diabetes and your own body.
I'm not even on. I don't have
diabetes.
I'm not even pre-diabetic.
Are you really?
No.
Oh, that's good. No, that's good. I'm happy for you. But
not fair.
If you ever end up pre-diabetic, Wilford Brimley would be the perfect spokesperson for your life. You got the diabetes.
Bless him.
Let's move on.
I know. So let's do this. Okay, now knowing what you know about the show, like all of us together as a show, who do you think would be a great spokesperson for the show? 855-33-WAY-FM. It might be challenging because we have 3 very different personalities that combine to make this what it is. But I'm curious if you go, oh, that person is really what that show is about. And, it's like Ernest or something like that. Like remember Ernest goes to camp? Ernest goes to space?
Guy. Yes.
Yeah, that's what you think of the show. Like, oh, yeah, that's perfect for them. So whatever it is, 855-33-WAY-FM. Or if you have one for someone specifically on the show, you can do that too. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take your professional show narrator now. Who do you think would be the perfect person to narrate this show based on what you know about it?
I actually think Tom Bodett would be a great narrator. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
I'm Tom Bodett from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
You know what? I don't hate that. I like that because it kind of captures the down-homeness of Betty Rock. I'm Tom Bodett, and we'll leave the light on for you.
I don't know who that is.
Motel 6. It was that guy. I think it was Motel 6 or one of those. Kind of Southern, but he's very approachable, very likable. You're like, oh, I could hang out with Tom Bodett.
Right. Right. And it's kind of that reassuring, hey, we got you covered. Don't worry about it. That's kind of the vibe you guys get. We're here for you. We got it for you.
Yeah, like he's not going to panic if things go crazy and all haywire. He's like, we'll leave the light on for you.
That's right.
Who would be a great narrator for the show? That's kind of the discussion on the table today.
Well, I had started with just having one for Betty, but while on hold, I decided as a group, you guys are Adam Sandler from Big Daddy.
All right! Oh, nice. Adam Sandler plays like one character, and it's always, hey, mama, you know, and I think that's very accurate, actually, of all of us.
Well, you're a hot mess, but you have so many redeeming qualities at the end.
Absolutely love it.
So,
you have nailed it, Lori.
And then, of course, Betty is Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, that would be a good one for her.
I like her because she is from the South. She's actually from Tennessee. And so, yeah, she has that Southern charm going for her. I think that's a great idea.
Yes.
All right, Hollywood, you're up. Who would be a good narrator for someone on the show?
So, bar none, and I say this with the utmost respect, the narrator for Wally's life should be Larry the Cable Guy.
Get her done. Get her done. Like, yeah, there is nothing but respect taken from that. Absolutely. That guy is a guy that came from not much and turned it into a whole career, too.
That's right. And he's that unique combination of metalhead and redneck that you and I both are.
Absolutely. I love this, man. I actually went to school with Larry the Cable Guy.
Well, that checks out.
Yeah, he went to my high school. Totally different back then. His dad was the principal of our school and stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy. And then he turned, his character into this whole thing, which I think I respect him for doing that for sure.
Absolutely. It's super cool.
Well, Hollywood, thanks for being on the show with us today, and get her done.
Get her done.
Get her done. We want to help people grow in their faith. That's one of the things that we are all about here at Way FM and on the Wally Show as well. And sometimes that thing you want to do for other people might be just made for you. We have a world's biggest small group. It's a study you can do online, and it's called Escaping the Negative. I can't help but think that they designed this one for me. It is a 4-part series to escape the negative thoughts that kind of dominate your world.
Yeah, it's a 4-part series, and the 4 parts are escape the negative in joy, escape the negative in peace, escape the negative in hope, and escape the negative in prayer.
Yeah, like I live in the negative space a lot, and it's really hard for me here because a lot of like humor comes from negative to me, or just my life, I always see the worst case scenarios. And I know you hate it when I say I'm wired that way, but maybe I've rewired myself that way.
Oh, I like that better.
Okay, well, there you go. And so like that's become my norm. And around here, like P is in Hope Media, like positivity is a big thing here. And this is an area I struggle in, like greatly, to be like super positive. I'm kind of angsty.
So maybe you could benefit from joining this world's biggest small group.
And 100%.
Maybe you find yourself just like Wally. Maybe you've said in the past, man, Wally is my spirit animal.
Yes.
Well, maybe you should join this world's biggest small group. And you can. It's simple. You just text the word escape to 91979, and we will send you a link. Wally, get out your phone.
I know,
Text
escape.
the word escape to 91979.
So much negativity in the world, and sometimes you get consumed by that, and then you find yourself forwarding that to other people, and people don't want to be around that and stuff. And so I'm cognizant of it, and it's something that I'm like, I need to change this in my life, and maybe this is a good first step for me.
It's funny how he's been saying that, though, for 17 years.
Well, I just never had a world's biggest small group. Finally! You guys finally got the hint. I've been telling you I've been broken for how many years? 17 years, and you finally did something for me.
Always the victim.
Yes,
Escape
exactly.
to 91979. Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it on The Rock Report.
These days, it's so easy for old interviews that you've done in the past to resurface, and then you have to apologize for what you said like 10, 20 years ago. And that's the case for these celebrities. I found a list of celebrities that had said something in the past, called out on it for being rude, and they apologized. So our first victim is Emily Blunt. In an interview with, she's British. She comes across as so sweet. Yeah. An interview from 2012 resurfaced, and she was on a British late night show talking about visiting the U.S. And the host went on to ask Emily if she noticed how most Americans are overweight due to food portion sizes. She agreed and goes on to talk about how she went to a local Chili's and her experience with the waitress.
The girl who was serving me was enormous. You know, I think she got freebie meals at Chili's.
Oh, that's so unenlightened.
Oh, bummer. Right?
Accurate, but so unenlightened.
Keep in mind, this was in 2012, okay? So she finds out about this now, and she did do an apology. She said, "I'm appalled that I would say something so insensitive, hurtful, and unrelated to the story. I'm old enough to know better." Okay, next one, Candace Cameron Bure.
Oh, no. How could Bure say anything bad?
Here we go. Dance Moms TV star turned pop singer JoJo Siwa. She jumped on a TikTok trend where people shared about the celebrity they met and came across as rude. In JoJo's video, she calls out Full House star Candace Cameron, and when word got to Candace, she was shocked by it. She jumped through the hoops to get to JoJo on the phone and ask for an explanation. And here's Candace on video telling us about the scenario JoJo used as her reaction.
I had come up to you and I said, "Can I have a picture with you?" And you said to me, "Not right now," and then proceeded to do what you were doing and take pictures with other people on the red carpet.
So JoJo took that as a diss.
A slight, a diss, yeah. Okay.
And then finally, Anne Hathaway.
What? I love Anne Hathaway.
Well, you may not after this. In an interview from 2012, one interviewer was set to interview the cast of the film Les Mis.
Yeah.
And she had a fun idea. Since the movie is based off the Broadway hit play with the same name, she asked a question, but while singing, and asked the person she was interviewing if they would answer her question while singing as well. And Hugh Jackman and Amanda Seyfried, they were down and they played along so well.
So were there any awkward moments on set like this? Because you had to sing and not talk.
There were not many awkward moments like this. We rehearsed for many weeks.
I kind of forgot that I was singing, and I'm going to do an English accent because that's what I was trained to do.
You know, that's good. Like, they played along. They're having fun. It's not a big deal, but not Anne.
Or, well, when it was time to interview Anne Hathaway, she was not on board, it turned super awkward.
So were there any awkward moments on set like this? Because you had to sing and not talk.
No.
Do you remember your first crush?
No.
Oh, wow. That's cold.
I know, like she just gave one word answers.
Just shut it down.
Right. So she was called out for it. And eventually Anne Hathaway did reach out to this interviewer through an email.
Yeah.
The interviewer said that she sent this long email explaining to me what she was going through right then and when she did this interview. And she apologized for giving me an awful interview, basically.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. You catch people on a wrong day sometimes, and you know they're there to promote something, but they're human and it happens.
Right. But in those moments, as a star, you do have to apologize and you have to do it publicly.
Yeah, sadly, that's right. All right, that's going to do it for your rock report. I'm sorry that you had to endure all of that. So there you go. Just in case anyone was offended. Flying anymore is super tricky because of flight delays. It seems to happen all the time. And then you've got TSA, which isn't always consistent. Hey, it's the Wally Show here on WayFM. That's what I discovered recently. Like, I had gone on a trip, and the first leg of my trip, everything went through, no problems. I've traveled with this stuff for a few times, no big deal. And then on one leg, a TSA agent was like, yeah, we're not going to be able to let that hairspray through. I'm like, ma'am, do you see my hair? This is trademark hair for me, and there's no other way that that's standing up without a lot of hairspray.
It is very confusing because some lines, like you said, you'll get in and they'll say, you don't have to take your shoes off. You don't have to get your computer out. And then other times, I'll go to the line right next to it, and they're like, you got to take your shoes off, got to get your computers out. It's like, what?
Sometimes you do your boarding pass. Other times it's just your ID, and you never know when. It's always different. So I would love some consistency.
And they always act annoyed.
Right.
That we don't know. That
Yeah.
we should know. It's like, no, everything's different.
I'm sorry,
we go.
but your partner in the last airport I was just at did this completely different than you.
And most recently, when on a work trip that we went to, Wally shared his hairspray got taken away.
She was so nice though. She left my hair gel because this lady was really nice. She goes, I know how expensive this is at my salon. I know it's over, but you've used some of it. I'll let you keep that. I'm like, thank you,
That
ma'am.
was very kind. But mine was my shoe. The shoelace got stuck in the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And the TSA agent, I saw him not so gingerly grab my shoe and just yank it out of the conveyor belt. And then he just practically threw it at me. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's a expensive Converse there.
Yeah.
That's a Converse knockoff from Target.
You don't get it.
That was $8, sir.
Yeah. Honestly, the audacity.
My wife has to get she has to get patted down every time she flies now because she has a fake hip. And so every time she just knows, here it comes.
Gonna happen.
Here it comes. Gonna get the full pat down here. I used to know it was gonna happen because I had so much jewelry on, and so I would walk through. I would hold out my wrists and hold my necklaces up because I knew every time what was gonna happen. And so they're like,
Do you hear yourself? All the jewelry and the hairspray.
I do hear it now. Yeah. Wasn't aware of it before, but now I see that I'm more trouble than my wife when I travel. All right, so 855-33-WAY-FM. I am curious if you have run into TSA troubles. What has been your hang up in going through airport security? Because some people, man, it's like, ooh, what's going on over there? Like you hear this little ruckus or people getting upset, and I kind of want to know. So I pack my bags up slower. I'm trying to see what's going on.
We like the drama.
Yeah, so if you had any TSA trouble on your travels, 855-33-WAY-FM. We love having you weigh in on these things on the show, and that's how you can do it, 855-33-WAY-FM. What was your TSA trouble that you ran into?
Oh, my goodness. I have got a crazy story for you. So this is Sierra, and I had a broken leg. So I had one of those walking boots, and the gal was insistent that I ride the wheelchair through and whatever. So I ride the wheelchair through, and they are doing the wand thing all over me. And then they're searching my bag while they're doing the wand. And I had a bottle of Chanel, and it was not full, but it was obviously less than the 3 ounces. But because the bottle was larger than the 3 ounces, she was insisting that we're going to throw this out.
Oh.
Meanwhile, they have not looked inside my boot. They did the wand thingy over it, but it's made of metal. There could be a knife in my boot, but you're concerned about the 1 ounce of perfume.
Yeah, well, next time, I think you learned your lesson. You put the Chanel in the boot and you walk on through.
The key is getting a known traveler number, a KTN.
I got one. Global entry, known traveler, TSA pre. Yeah, it definitely makes getting through the airport way easier.
Yep.
I appreciate you being on with us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye.
So, Beth, have you ever had any TSA troubles?
Well, we've had trouble with every airline we've traveled. My husband was on dialysis for many years and had the machine that we carried with us. He would hook up every night. And the machine is huge, and with it and its case, it weighed about 50 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Which is the limit, right? And every time you go through, they panic. What is this? We can't let you through with this. It's at the limit, blah, blah, blah. And we would have to, open the case and show them the machine, show them the medical papers, saying what it is.
That's
so
crazy.
We would create quite a scene every time we traveled.
And my luck, I'd be behind you every time you traveled. So what have some of your TSA troubles been traveling?
My shrimp etouffee. I waited in line for over an hour, as long as you wait at the TSA line, to get that in Texas at this famous spot. And got there to the airport with my shrimp etouffee, looking forward to enjoying it at a later time. And the TSA agent says, unfortunately, you can't take this through. It has liquid. And I said, it's the sauce. It's not. I don't think this constitutes liquid, but it's the sauce. And she's like, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to bring it. I said, well, I'm not throwing this out. I'd like a supervisor.
Oh.
She brings over a supervisor. The supervisor agrees with me. This is not liquid. It's
Really?
sauce.
So
Let
sauce
it
is not
go.
liquid? That's news to me. Because like my hair gel is paste, but they count that as liquid too. So I like the sauce loophole here.
That's what I don't understand. Why can't every TSA agent get on the same page? Like,
Yeah.
is there not a manual that they all have to follow?
Oh, you would think.
That should be a training video. Like first thing, so you want to be a TSA agent? Great, congratulations. We love having you on the team. For the record, sauce is not a liquid.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're all good.
There you go.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.